So we grow using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Christo
and Coach Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, folks, we're going to have a great show. This is going to be class in session today. And Crystal, this is Caribbean Heritage Month. Did you
Oh,
know that?
really? I did not know that.
We found that out
Okay.
yesterday. Caribbean, and they showed you some Caribbean folks who's been instrumental in building this country and contributing to it. I didn't see my
Oh,
picture up there.
wait, I think you need to work on that, but I think we should reach out to some of our Caribbean friends and clients and bring them
Yeah,
on this month.
bring
We
them
have
on the
quite a
show.
few. Yeah,
Exactly.
highlight them. I didn't know there was a Caribbean month. I mean, that means my girlfriend, she's from Cuba. I got friends from Puerto Rico. I
Yeah,
got friends from the Dominican. I got friends from the DR. That's the same Dominican. I got friends from everywhere. So, all
yeah.
righty. Well, happy to you, my co-host,
All
Caribbean
right, man.
Heritage Month,
I appreciate love that. I appreciate love that. You
and
know,
maybe we.
if you go to Google and you type Caribbean Heritage Month 2022, you see all this good stuff going on. It says Caribbean American Heritage Month. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Caribbean
Caribbean Heritage.
Caribbean hyphen American Heritage Month. That's what it is.
Okay, well then I will make sure I amend all of my marketing for next week. And I did not know that that was the case. There's some very successful Caribbean Afro Cubans and Afro Jamaicans. I don't know if
Afro
you got
Jamaican. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, the
yeah. That's
DR,
me.
the
That's me.
Haiti, Trinidad, Tobago. And there's some very successful people. So it says here that Dr. Claire Nelson was founded. The month was founded by Dr. Claire Nelson and was celebrated across the nation for the first time by the Institute of Caribbean Studies in 2000. However, the move to officially declare June as the National Caribbean started in 2004 when a legislation bill was passed by Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Oh, that one of my clients, that's his aunt.
Yeah, yeah.
The resolution was made in official in 2006 with George W. Bush, and he signed the proclamation. And I don't think I have ever heard this at all. I
I'm looking here at his briefing from the White House. It says President Biden proclaimed it was on May 31st of this year that he proclaimed that June will be Caribbean Heritage Month.
All righty. So some of the things it says here, I mean, first of all, there's 13 Caribbean countries for those of you, and some of you might be tuning in and know this yourself, but Antigua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Grenada, Haiti, St. Kitts, Nevis, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadine. What is that?
Grenada.
Well, there's Grenada, but then there's another. The Grenadines, Trinidad, and Tobago.
Yeah.
So those are the all the countries that are represented with Afro Cubans. So for those of you that don't think that they black, hey Michael, how are you? All that happened. Let me trust and believe when they set sail from Africa. The Caribbean islands were just the first places that they dropped us off. Then from
That
there,
is
they
true.
came on to the Americas. So
That is
don't think
true.
that we not one and the same. We are
Mhm.
one and the same. Just
Yeah,
you got dropped off first.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That
so
is right.
so we are no different than any, but we all, our ancestors all came from the continent of Africa, and so we all the same. And
Yep.
they had slavery in the Caribbean islands, just like they had slavery in America.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
So we just want to make sure the word gets out there, and our listeners and other participants out there know this is Caribbean American Heritage Month.
yes, and just think, Gilbert, I just saw here that 63% of the total Caribbean immigrants live here in United States. Either obviously in New York, a great deal in New York and Miami, and then of course we have quite a few here in California. So I think if we just imagine if we all came together, the African Americans that who were born, their ancestors born in slavery and were slaves in America. Take our 13%, because I'm sure the Caribbean is not counted in that, because they probably tried to use them to enhance the Caucasian population. Take
Yeah,
13% and the 63%, and now we have a majority.
that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, of course,
This
that's probably crude math, but that's still a majority.
it is true. It is
Right,
true.
because I'm sure that some of the Latins from the Hispanic culture, they're being counted in as Spanish, but they lump everybody in as Mexicans, as
Yeah,
opposed to who they, and just because you may be coming, you may have come from a Spanish speaking country, so that
yeah,
does not make you Mexican. That makes you a Caribbean from a Spanish speaking country,
that's
which
right.
meant that you were inhabited by either Spain, Portugal, Venezuela, any of those places that Spanish, Brazil, any
Hmm.
of those places that actually spoke Spanish. So
Yeah,
there you have, or Portuguese.
yeah.
So, well, that's cool, Gilbert. So you gonna
Oh
go
yeah.
hang out with some of your Caribbean friends this month?
I'll probably hang out on the phone with them. I don't want to hang out with anyone in person anymore for a long time. I'll hang out on the phone with them. Last time I did that, I got COVID, man.
So you ain't trusting nothing
I'm
like
not
that.
trusting any of them.
I feel you, my brother. I feel you. And right now, everybody's celebrating graduations. So I do want to say to everyone out there, congratulations to all of our college graduates.
Yeah,
Congratulations to even down to our babies at elementary, kindergarten, preschool, middle school, high school. Congratulations to all of our graduates, and wishing you the best of luck and on your next journey, wherever that may be, to the next level of education. So, best of luck. So, we want to and parents, congratulations. So, this was cute, Gilbert. Yesterday, my sister and I, Mona, we were in Target, and we're walking, and so this guy was standing there with his two sons, and he was just grinning from ear to ear, and he turns around and he sees the two of us, and he goes, "Hey, beautiful ladies, my son graduated from high school today." He was helping them buy some out clothes. He was grinning like he had walked that little boy to school and sat next to him every single day, until hoping and praying that the child graduated, and on he was on cloud nine. The young man is going to a community college, so dad was just smiling and smiling. I know I had some friends. One, I don't know if you know her. Her name is Denise, and she actually owns a African clothing line, and so she says, she had posted about her son graduating from middle school, right? And so she says, I know it's not college, but look, I got one child. So every time he graduates, it's going to be like a
We're
college.
gonna brag about him. We're gonna brag about him.
She goes, I am going to brag just as if he was in college. He
That's what I'm
graduated.
talking
And I
about.
told her, you go ahead, my sister. It's a milestone. And in this country, man, just getting our kids to the end zone, to the married, to having children is
That's
a feat
right.
all by itself.
That's right, man. Wake
So
up in the morning, making lunch, putting together, preparing them, putting their clothes in order, taking them to school. going to those parent teacher meetings and all those other meetings.
Exactly. All of those things, all of that. And one of my friends says, well, I saw her at the park. One of the kid for the kids that come to the park. She walked up to us doing the happy. She said, "This is called the happy parent out of school dance because." It's been rough, and they're chauffeuring and getting up early and forcing homework and lunch and all that sort of stuff. So she's like, "This is my happy parent dance." So now the kids are on summer break, and a lot of camps going on, and so
Yeah,
we have Biz Camp
yeah.
starting July 5th, and it will go on to July 29th. So for those of you
How
that
many
don't,
enrollees you got?
right now I think we're at 25,
Hey,
but
that's not bad.
and we've been interviewing two, three, four of them a day. But we just did a partnership, or we're in the process of doing a partnership with an organization called Educating Young Minds, and it's run. Its founder's name is Angelise Echoes, and she's been running her program for 35 years, and it's a tutoring program that helps kids with tutoring from elementary school all the way up to college, prepping them for college with SATs. And so she has a summer camp going on this summer,
Yeah,
but she likes to, she's been collaborating with other organizations to enhance her camp and to enhance the other collaborator partners camp. So our camp is going to be from 9 to 12 every day, Monday through Friday, for the month of July. And her camp goes on for the month of July as well. She's an all-day tutoring. So we're going to combine forces. And
yeah,
what we're going to do is her kids are going to join our camp
yeah.
and make up the balance of our numbers. And then our kids can go over to her camp for tutoring and SAT prep and all of that. So, and then we're actually we had a meeting with the Urban League, and so all the other youth programs that they are participating in, she now will have access to those kids. So it should be a really amazing
That's
um
good. Yeah,
collaboration,
yeah,
because we all have the same passion for helping our children,
yeah.
and so we're looking forward to that. So we solidify everything next week. I think she should have about 10, 15 kids coming into our program. And hopefully we will have about 10, 15 of our kids going into her program. So
Sounds
we're
like a
excited
plan.
about that.
Sounds like a
Mhm.
plan to me.
Yeah. So today, I was been, this has been heavy on my mind. And if you're listening to the news, guys, and if you are reading any information on the internet, you know that there's a recession coming.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a recession coming. I was just listening to the news this morning, and they were saying the gas is a primary the fuel
Indicator.
indicator, especially as gas prices continue to escalate and the supply is much lower than the demand, or the demand is higher than the supply, then that is a indicator of a recession, but also that the gas or the fuel has long arms into everything that we do. Our
Yep.
food, being able to get
Transportation,
transportation.
all of that stuff.
Yeah. So um, we weren't prepared for the pandemic, but we sure in the heck can be prepared for the upcoming recession. And so
Yeah.
that's what we're going to talk about today, guys.
So we're going to
Is
talk about recession-proof business activities or businesses that you may want to think about. And if you're running an existing business, you don't necessarily have to change your business to take on a recession-proof business, but you could change some of the activities, some of the services that you offer to include a recession-proof type of service or product.
exactly, and we have a recession. The United States since World War II has experienced over 12 have experienced 12 recessions, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, and an average of one every 6 years. So if we go back in time, we can see that, right? Because I remember when I made a pivot and added accounting and bookkeeping to my, well, actually, I was working for a company and I was in the financial industry, and I was selling insurance products, disability and health insurance products, right? But I worked at a financial planning firm.
Right.
So you start noticing right away when you work in one of those industries that people start making some decisions, right? They have to make some choices, and usually their life insurance is the first thing that goes. Makes no sense, but it's the first thing that goes, and because they're looking at, do I
And
keep a
look
roof
at
over?
leveraging cash and funding.
Right. So do I keep the roof over my head? Do I keep my car on the road? I definitely have to eat, right?
Yeah.
And so those are the priorities, right? Especially if you're going to school, if they're going to got kids going to school, got to take care of kids. So I was like, you know what? And this was like the second recession that I had encountered. One was the SNLs back in the 90s.
Woo!
Remember that one, the SNLs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough one, right?
Oh yeah. And then you got 2001. Then you
Right.
got 2008
Eight every
and
6 years.
2020. And now we're kind of sniffing at the door at 2023.
Right, a little early for since we just did the 20. So
Yeah.
I at that time said, you know what? I need a business that is recession proof. I actually needed a career that was recession proof.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
went back to school, got my accounting and bookkeeping skill sets, and I was like, okay, because the one thing I know in my world, I don't care how bad it gets, folks. Somebody's out there still counting their money, and
Oh
they
yeah.
still, in fact, more so now because you got to know where every dime is, right?
Oh yeah.
So that was my migration into a recession proof
Yeah.
skill set that will be needed no matter what's happening in the world.
And a lot of us small businesses don't know how to count their own money. So we need people like you and others, bookkeepers and accountants, CPAs to count the money for us. Let us know what's going on, what's owed to us, our accounts receivables, our accounts payables, our agings, what's going on with that. When am I going to get paid? When am I going to get my money?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you start those are statements and phrases and comments that you make a lot during a recession.
Oh, yeah. When am I going to get my money?
When my money coming? So that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. One, recession proofing your business. Have you started? And if you haven't, you need to. So we're going to talk about some actionable ideas that can help prevent companies from suffering too much during the recession, and a lot of these as was a result of what transpired in the previous recessions and how people make the adjustments. So we're going to talk about that, and so it's a fun and exciting in my world, in the accounting world. It's a fun and exciting conversation, and we can't keep our head dug in the sand. We have to be prepared now. We know what happens when you're not prepared, so we have to be prepared.
And
Okay.
the thing about it is, what small businesses can do also, since we've measured over the years and we've seen that anywhere from 4 to 7 to 10 years is when those recessions come around, then we need to start planning accordingly. So when you're doing your business plan, your marketing plan, your growth plan, you want to include that type of thing in your business planning process. That, okay, we know within 4 to 7 years we're going to have another recession. How are we prepared for that? How are we going to be recession proof? So these are things that small businesses should include in their planning.
Yes, It really, really should. Which means that if you did your business plan, 25 years ago, you might want to pull it off the shelf, dust
Yeah,
it off, get
yeah,
the cobwebs, and go in, because I'm sure your business has changed quite a few times during that time. But also look at what you need to do. So that's what we're going to talk about. But before we
yeah.
do that, Gilbert, how was your week?
Oh man, my week was super busy. It was I had a lot of certifications I'm doing for some of my clients. And even though I provide them this platform, Small Biz Pro, to use to upload their documents, make it easier on themselves and easier on me, so I can just access the documents and put them in the application. They're not doing that. So they're making my job tougher. So what am I usually, when we try to hold small businesses' hands and they don't pay attention, what do? We gotta charge them the stupid tax. So that's what I gotta do now. I'm gonna have to up my prices and say, okay, this is the stupid tax you're paying for not using the platform I give you to make your life easier.
Oh boy, that's funny, but true.
Yeah, yeah, because the whole purpose of getting this platform, this back office platform together, is to make their lives easier, which in turn will make my life easier when
Right,
I'm
right,
doing their
right, right.
certification. And they're not doing it, so you gotta charge for that. There has to be some consequences.
So there has to be some consequences,
There has to be some,
repercussions and consequences,
yes. So if they adhere to what I'm saying, they won't have to pay the stupid tax. But if they don't, then gotta pay that stupid tax.
Well, that's kind of like when I was with QuickBook, when I was teaching accounting and bookkeeping. QuickBooks, right? Same thing. Had that, when it was cheap. Hey, Jasmine, when it was cheap, nobody wanted to. I was begging folks to come take a class. Now, since they couldn't get that money during the pandemic, it got serious then. So now I probably teach either Wave or QuickBooks probably 2 to 3 times a week now.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I got another 3 clients on this. They're on their way next week, and so yeah. But I have a stupid tax too, because if I got to come
Yep.
in and fix stuff, it's gonna cost you so much more money.
That's right. That's right. Because they have all the opportunity of making things easy for them by working with super consultants like you and I. Because
Exactly.
our job is to make your life easier. And if you're not taking us up on that, then you got to pay the stupid tax.
You do. So and we only doing this to help you guys. We ain't not doing this for any other reason. But you're absolutely correct. You're so correct. Well, I know right now I have never been busier in my entire life, because everybody's trying to get past and move past the pandemic. Although we haven't moved past the pandemic, we still have the pandemic. We are still in it,
Yeah.
but people are just done. They're just done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I know that they're done with it, I went somewhere yesterday. Where was it? I think it was a bank. I went somewhere and I saw people not wearing their mask. A lot of people were not there, and they were inside. I'm going, what?
Because they took off the restrictions for you
Yeah.
having to wear your mask. So whenever I go inside or anywhere, I always have my mask.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh
wearing
yeah.
mine. They may not wear theirs, but I'm wearing mine. It's too bad whatever happens to you, but I know what it ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen to me. So I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
At this point, it's about your own common sense.
That's right. That's right.
So
So
you do. And I heard today they're taking the restriction off. No, you don't have to show verification that you got your vaccinations
oh
or your
Lord,
testing or any of that
I'm
sort of stuff.
keeping mine. Keep in mind. As a matter of fact, this is June and my booster shot is due this month. So I'm going to go do that booster because I don't want to see inside of the room, those rooms of those
Yeah,
hospitals
see, you
anymore.
got something to relate to.
Yes,
It was no joke to you. You're not under the illusion that it was a conspiracy because you lived through it.
I lived it. I lived it, man. And I have a funny feeling that that doctor was trying to cut out my kidney and sell it, telling me that my kidney is bad, and he can't show me proof that it's bad. Every day, oh, your kidney's bad. It's really bad. We gotta do something about that. Oh. I'm going, don't come near me. Trying to sell my kidney on the black market,
Right,
and then
exactly.
blame it on COVID. That, oh, COVID killed him. COVID killed him. Wasn't the kidney that I took.
You weren't going for the okie doke. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and it wasn't going for that. So,
So,
folks,
so
it's
if you
real
guys,
out there.
it's real. So be real. Are we ready to jump on into our?
Oh yeah,
So
we
let
are
me.
ready to do this, baby. We
I
are
am going
ready.
to put up our little. We got.
While
We
you're
have.
doing that, I wanna wish again all the folks out there happy National Caribbean American Heritage Month. Jasmine, I know you're tied to the Jamaican culture. I know you're Jamaican, so happy National Caribbean American Heritage Month to you and your mom and your family. Okay,
Yeah, her mom
and I
and
want
her
to share it with
grandmother.
everyone else.
Yep, and to my girlfriend, she go woo woo, and my girlfriend who's from Cuba. So wanna wish how Cuban Heritage Month to her and her family. Also, I wanna send out blessings and prayers because she lost her mom last 2 Thursdays ago.
Who?
My girlfriend Daisy, her mother passed,
Oh
and
man, I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, so and then I also want to send out condolences and prayers to my friend Alicia Madison White, Alicia from the Bella
Yes,
Network.
yes, yes,
She
yes.
lost her father and an aunt.
Oh
Um,
no, to COVID?
no, they were well, both of them were. Daisy's mom was 94 and just had been fighting this long battle of dementia and some other things. So she lived a good long life, but a long time. She's been incapacitated for a long time, for I would say over 15 years. And then Alicia's dad also had been diagnosed with dementia, and he had to be put in a facility because he was one of the dementia patients that became more violent over time,
Oh
and he was a
wow.
big guy, and so she couldn't take care of him. So I want to send condolences and prayers and blessings to her family, her and her sisters,
Yeah,
um, and anyone else that has lost a loved one. This is pretty tough, but
yeah.
our elderly, that's what happens, and we have to prepare. So just know that we love you and we're here for you. And many blessings and prayers. And if you need anything, of course, just let us know. We're here
You
for you.
know, I want to add this, Crystal. I really want to add this out there to all of our listeners and new viewers. I want to let you guys know this because I know many of you may not have thought about it, or maybe you've thought about it, but you go, that will never happen to me. I think you guys should start thinking about getting some type of insurance, either burial insurance or some type of insurance for family members, because when they pass, it's going to happen suddenly. And when it does, you may not have the money. Your money may not be right to deal with that type of situation, especially now with COVID and all of that, where people are getting sick, like uh, emergency style, and then they just pass. Then you don't have the money to take care of the burial. That can kill you, that can wipe you out, and that can devastate you. I remember my mom died in 2018, and it's a good thing I had burial insurance on her
Mm.
because they told us that the burial cost will be about $7,000.
Hmm.
That's not what it was. It was about $15,000 to $17,000, and on top of that, On top of that, the funeral home, the mortuary, the cemetery, everybody is trying to get some money out of you. That's when they jack you. That's when that's when they act like they're your friends, and then while you're not looking, bam, they hit you with a big bill. So they did that to me and my mom, man. It was unbelievable. Luckily, I had that insurance to cover it, or I would have to go into my pocket and take care of it. So, guys, don't be proud. Think about it. Think about it. Okay.
And what that's called, Gilbert, is that's called grieving insurance.
Yeah. Yeah. Leaving insurance. That's how I want you guys to look at it.
So when they jack you, it's because they know you grieving and you
Oh,
have no
yeah.
choice. They have you
Oh,
over
yeah.
a barrel. So
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So yeah, you do. And it's so funny you said that, because just on yesterday on the community briefing, we were talking about that.
Oh, really?
Sure, yeah, that was definitely the conversation. Making sure you have the appropriate insurances to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Life insurance for sure on your loved ones, but also if you're in a position when before your parents become ill, become incapacitated, then you want to make sure that you get long-term health care. So get it while they're young.
Yeah.
And it won't cost you so much. But if they can't afford it or they're not thinking about it, you should think about it, because you're going to be the one taking care of them. So,
oh, yeah. You will be the one. And then you're going to be wishing, man, I wish I had taken out this insurance, because then it's going to be too late. Now, they have these insurance programs out there where if you're between the ages of 50 and 85, you can get a policy, and that policy will be like a reasonable amount that you can afford on a monthly basis. Like some of them $10 a month, some of them, it's 50. I was paying $137 a month for my mom, and it came in handy. In handy. So, guys, think about it. Think about it. I know you're probably saying, "Hey, this won't happen to me." But trust me, I said the same thing with COVID. I said COVID wasn't going to happen to me, and bam, it happened when I wasn't looking. So you want to prepare yourself, guys.
You definitely do. Jasmine is putting in all her Caribbean, Jamaican friends in the chat. So go ahead, girl. Support your people.
Beautiful. Love it, Jasmine.
So anyway, guys, and this is also so we're going to be talking about business and recession proofing, but let's even talk about family recession proofing, because COVID is still here, so it can create some other dramas for you, and some expenses. But with that, we're going to jump on in to our topics today. We want to welcome you all. You are tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. So please go on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that you are informed whenever we are every week at 3. We are here every week at 3:00, but you will get a notification the day before and the day of, several times actually, to make sure you tuned in. So, all righty, we ready to rock and roll?
We are ready to rock and roll.
Okay, so our subtopic today is: you're going to change your tactics, not the vision of your business, but you're going to have to change your tactics in order to survive. So just for clarity's sake, what is recession proofing your business? So what is defined by the National Bureau of Economics Research is that recessions is a significant decline in the economic activity spread across the economy, and it usually lasts for several months. Normally, visual. It affects your income, employment, industry production, wholesale sale or retail sales. All of these things are affected, and the recession can last between 2 months, 18 months, and the duration can be quite stressful for business owners. So, I would say equivalent to the pandemic. Only thing is that the businesses are not going, the world is not going to shut down, but it's going to feel like it's shut down because
Yeah.
everything is going to cost more. And there will be certain things that will not be available to you. You will find your cash very stressed at that time. So we want to make sure you guys are ready for it. Some key takeaways that you want to keep in mind is that recessions are a normal part of every business cycle, so it's important to plan for them. Gilbert said that at the very beginning. It should be incorporated in your plan. Don't pretend like it's not going to happen, because it is going to happen. It's a cycle. Certain industries are recession proof because they meet customers' explicit needs and solves their pains, and so they're going to require certain things like food, toiletries, toilet paper. These are things that's part of your daily life. So that's not going to. Those are recession proof businesses, as Warren Buffett says. If the majority of the population needs your business, you will never be in a recession.
That is true. That is true. That is true.
Making a business more recession proof it requires advanced planning. So this is what we're talking about today. And focusing on your revenue preservation, cash flow, investing in strategic demand generations, and technology helps analyze, measure, and monitor what is crucial to stay successful during that time. So those are the key takeaways. And now we're going to talk about some strategies. You ready,
You know,
Gilbert?
you know what's amazing, Crystal? You're hitting on all the key points right there about how to recession proof your business. And the technology piece, man, that's big. That is big right there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to piggyback a little bit on the technology piece that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we're not telling you to change your business. Just like we said earlier, we're not telling you to change your line of business and jump into another line of business. What we're saying is you want to augment your system so that you set up processes so it's recession proof. And four of those ways that we want to jump in on this is one of them is marketing automation. You make marketing automated. Then the next one would be my co-host's playpen. Accounting and bookkeeping automation. You got
Mm-hmm.
to do that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a must. That's a given. That's not an if or why or when. It's a given. You got to do it. The third one would be a process automation, where you put your business processes in automation, your back office, your documentation, your paperwork. That's another part of your recession proofing. And the fourth one would be your HR automation.
Mm-hmm.
So, Crystal, I just want to put those four out there and let you go back to doing your thing.
All righty. So you're absolutely right, because if everything is automated, it's easier to see a bigger overview of everything. You don't have to use your multiple, as my girlfriend was saying, we were talking yesterday. You don't have to have all your little envelopes and pieces of paper that's got all your important information on it. You actually have it in a system. You can run a report, and voila, you can see everything in a broad view, as opposed to just looking at it individually. Because at this point, when we're talking recession proofing, as we're saying, it does take advanced planning. You can't look at things individual. You have to look at things on the entire scope, on a broad scope of your business, so that you know exactly what needs to be addressed. So the first thing in the 27 strategies to recession proofing your business is good hygiene. Not
And good hygiene is not just about the body, it's about the business too.
so yes, exactly. We're talking about good hygiene, good structure, good accounting within your business, being able to look at and review what's happening. So first thing is having and creating a cash flow plan.
Yeah.
Um, right, running out of cash is always a top concern for business owners, but especially during a recession. Now, the difference between the recession and the pandemic, there will not be a life jacket or safety net or boat or ship called the PPP to come rescue you
No,
during a
no, no, no.
recession.
That ship has sailed. Okay. That
So
ship has sailed.
that is, so you don't, you that's not, there's no one going to come rescue you. So you want to be able to create a cash flow plan, and considering consider doing some projections and forecasting on your cash flow for the next quarter, so that you can guide yourself and your management team, and know that early on, when there's a crisis or when money is about to slow up and you're going to have difficulty making ends meet and meeting payroll, because those are those fixed costs that you can't ignore: payroll, loans, mortgages, and production costs. You cannot do without those, because that's the lifeblood of your business. So that's
Crystal,
that.
let's break it down a little bit more for them, just so they can really, really, really understand what we're talking about when we say create a cash flow plan. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so one of the things that you guys want to think about when we're talking about creating a cash flow plan, not only should you create a statement of cash flow so you can see what's going on in the business, but you want to know who owes you money and who you owe money. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what your statement of cash flow is going to do for you. It's going to tell you who you owe and who owes you. All right. So your accounts receivables, your accounts payables, your aging, anything over 90 days is called aging. So if you owe money for more than 90 days, then that's an aging accounts payable. If somebody owes you for more than 90 days, that's an aging accounts receivable. And usually, when you let someone owe you money for 90 days or more, the banks start looking at you funny. They start saying, this person doesn't have control over their business. They're letting people owe them money for too long. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
keep that in mind, guys. That's a big part of your cash flow plan right there.
Yeah, because if there's a slow up with the money, then everything else slows up as well. So you want to
Yeah,
make sure the money is consistently coming in, especially during a recession. The next area is assess your workforce needs. Make sure you understand, take stock of the number of employees you have, if you guys have employees, and their skills, and make sure that their skills are aligned with your business. Sometimes it's hard to let an employee go, right? And
yeah,
sometimes an employee gets to a place where they can no longer do their job, or they don't have the skill sets to continue to be of value to your company. And at that point, you're the boss. So
yeah.
you have to be on top of that. You're the leader of your company, and you have to be on top of that. At the same time, you might have to even look at bringing someone in, especially if you're a solopreneur and you got just too much going on. You can't watch everything. So you might have to look at, bringing on someone to help you out. So that comes down to the next one, is operating within your budget. So that goes along with that cash flow, making
Yeah.
sure you look at how much money's coming in, where, if you do need to make some adjustments in your payroll, or you need to add payroll, eliminate some of the waste. There's so many businesses have so much variable cost waste, that you could cut out the waste and then be able to employ someone to help you, that would be much more impactful on your business.
And for those of you who currently are using Small Biz Pro, if you're using Small Biz Pro, that back office tool right now, there are sample documents in there to help you run your business. And one of those sample documents is a budget. you have a budget, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit, there are sample templates in there for budgets. So you can create a budget for your business so you understand what you need to spend every month in what areas. So that's what Crystal is talking about operating within your budget. First, you set up the budget, you know your spending guidelines, and you don't overspend.
You don't overspend. So you want, and you can't just assume that, you got to look at your books. You got to have a good accounting system so that you'll be able to do reviews and analyze everything that's happening, money coming in, money going out, and keeping track of all of that, because you're going to really need it during the recession. So important. That's one of those critical good business hygiene strategies that not just during a recession, but 24/7, actually, as long as you're in business and call yourself in business, that's something that should be going on. Building up your employee skills. If you do have employees, making sure they're up to the job, they're up to the challenge, right? Making sure that they're flexible, they can pivot, and they can think creatively during the recession, that they will be a benefit to you and not a hindrance to your business.
And that's when you also need to start putting together a bench. You want to have a bench of either potential employees or potential consultants that you can use. So when you go out and you already vetted these individuals, you know what they can do because you've interfaced with them. You've got them send you their statement of qualifications, their capability statements, and all of that. And you're able to go through that. Then you put them on a bench so that when you really need them, you can reach out to them. And someone like Crystal, for example, if you want to reach out to her and say, hey, you know what, I'm having some challenges with bookkeeping. Can you help me? Or accounting or whatever it is. Those are ways that you can help to build up those employee skills. And employee skills doesn't necessarily mean an employee. It could be a consultant, an independent contractor. You want to build up those skills as well.
Exactly. So very important. The next one is very important. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg, how you doing, buddy?
Greg, we talking about recession proofing your business today. The next one is tracking your marketing key performance indicators, making sure your marketing is reaching the people so that they will know that you're still in business during this time. And so you want to monitor that. You just don't want to be willy-nilly marketing all over the place and never review and testing and tracking that is actually reaching your core target market.
You know, Crystal, I can give you a testimonial on that part.
Okay.
So as you know, we're using Small Biz Pro, and I keep talking about Small Biz Pro because I feel it's a very great tool for any business to use,
right,
in order to stay on course, build their capacity, build their back office, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a consultant that I hired to help me with marketing, Chacha McGinnis.
Okay.
So she's helping me with with my marketing, and we're looking at stuff now that I never looked at before. You see what I'm saying? So in tracking the key performance indicators, she's helping me to let me know how many people are looking at my site on a daily basis, how many people are responding to, because she advertises on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of that, and YouTube as well. Okay. So she's letting me know the type of results and response that I'm getting out of that. When she puts up a video or she puts up a graphic, an infographic, it's just phenomenal. And it's like I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. I didn't even know these things could happen. But she's just doing a great job. So that's what Crystal is talking about, folks, when she talks about tracking your marketing key performance indicators, your KPIs. You got to know what's going on. How many people are you reaching? How many people are responding? How are they responding? What are they responding about? What do they like or dislike about your ad or your promotion or your marketing campaign? Those are things you want to do.
And that's why it's a good idea to hire someone to do that, because if that's not your area of expertise, that's not your wheelhouse, then you're never going to do it the way it should be done,
Right.
and to the magnitude that it should be done. So
Yeah.
someone that's hired to do that, that's their job. They're looking for certain things that you, the business owner whose business is to develop the business, you don't have a clue, like you said, not even knowing that that happened. Greg says,
Exactly.
uh, Greg says, and I remember this because I knew Greg. I had several businesses going in 2003. Greg says he opened a business in the boating sales in 2003, 5 years before the Great Recession. Clearly not recession proof.
Right. And that's the thing we're talking about. So when we're thinking of about starting or expanding, growing a business, one of the things we want to ask ourselves, is this business recession proof? Or are the things that we're doing in this business going to help us to become recession proof? And if the answer is, I'm not sure, or no, then it's not a good business venture to pursue.
Right, exactly. Next one is beating the competition. So very, very important because um everybody's always concerned about their competition, but it's really important at that time during a recession to take stock of who your competitors are, because recessions have a way of weeding out certain companies that don't have the strength or are not recession proof, and there may open up a whole new market for you that was not there before, because if they close, then someone else is going to have to pick up the slack, right? Like right now, I think it's absolutely interesting that there are only 3 companies or 4 companies that make baby food, when one of those, that one company, is no longer available or can't do it. Not just the United States, the whole entire world has been affected, that
Yeah.
you can't find baby formula. Why
Yeah.
is that? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even understand that. So people right now, this would be the perfect time, and I know it does take time to get things through the FDA, but you can sell international and don't have anything to do with the United States FDA program. So
Yeah.
you should really be thinking about how can you fill up that void. There is now a need in the marketplace, and as an entrepreneur and as a business person, that's what we're always looking for. That little opening to jump into a space that is completely in need of a service or to meet an unmet need. So very
And
important.
also, Crystal, I want to add to that piece about beating the competition. They have this phrase: if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yes.
So there are certain competitors out there that we may not be able to beat because they're probably much stronger, they're more prominent, they've been in the business a long time, they got connections and all of that. So it doesn't hurt for us to team up with them, team up with the competition. Sometimes you can do that. Team up to get a broader reach into the industry, into the space in which you're operating. What you're offering might be a little different than what they're offering. So that gives them an expansive reach to a wider array of customers. That may help your business a little bit. Because
And it might enhance each other, right? I
yes.
mean, I work with all of my competitors. Everyone in LA that's a business coach
Yeah.
technically could be a competitor of mine, right? But I have a certain skill set. You have a certain skill set. So
Yeah.
I work with my competitors all the time,
Yeah.
and it just makes us a more solid business, right? We
Right.
can offer services. In fact, just the other day, our good friend Cargill,
Yes.
our Gil. Now, let me tell you a quick little story. So, I had just gotten off the phone with you the other day,
Yeah.
and I was getting ready to teach a class. I think when we hung up, I told no, I had a client. I said, Gilbert, I got to run. I got a client, right? So,
Yes.
right behind that, about 10-20 minutes later, a call came in and it said Gilbert, and I'm thinking, okay, Gilbert must be calling back to tell me something. So I sent I just did one of my instant messages, say I'll call you back. But
Yeah.
it was actually, I was getting off of one call and getting on another call. My next call and my next appointment was with Gil Cargill. And
Yeah.
so when I looked, I was like, oh my God, I thought you were my Gilbert. So he says, he is in his whole entire career, he has never met anyone that it was in the business world or that he interacted with that was also named Gilbert. He says, "No, I'm not your Gilbert. I'm Felicia's Gilbert." But I'm so sorry.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But Gail reached out to me because he wants to, expand into the small business marketplace.
Right,
So he
right,
says accounting and all that sort of stuff is not my thing, but
right.
can we do some workshops together? So we're going to
Yeah,
do a workshop together at the end of the month on
good.
doubling your profit. And he says, and then I have clients as I'm helping them, they need to then be able to track that. So there you go. Two individuals.
I do believe that what Gil brings to the table, man, it will enhance any of us, any consultant that's out there, you, me, anyone else, because his take on the market is so unique and so different, you know?
And he's a guru salesperson.
Yeah,
He's none of us are salespeople. All of
yeah,
us provide a service,
right,
right?
right, right.
He sees the world through selling
Yeah,
eyeballs
yeah,
and
that's
my
what he
and
does.
lenses, and we see it as servicing a problem, and we have the solution. But now we don't have the skill sets that he has to sell the solution.
That
So
man
yes.
can sell ice to Eskimos, man. He can sell Jamaican foods to Jamaicans.
Jamaicans. So I'll be marketing it this in the next week. It's going to be called "How Doubling Your Profits in 7 to 12 Months."
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
and one of our another person that was on our program on our show, Fedora, she actually attended his last seminar, and so she's become a client, and he's already doubling her
Beautiful.
money. So and
Beautiful.
he's really excited about working with her. So tell me truthfully, guys, really think about your competition, really do
Yeah,
some
yeah,
in-depth work, and what you want to be is the market leader in your space. That's what you
yeah,
want to do and
yeah,
be.
yeah,
Next is be patient, because as the economics um, downturn takes place, you have to be able to weather it. So you can't get impatient. But
yeah,
again, knowing that there's up and down business cycles throughout your business, this is just going to be another one of those. So if you are doing your advanced planning, you should be ready for whatever is about to happen. And you'll feel some effects, but it won't be as intense as if you didn't you weren't pre-planning. So that's what we're going to talk about now is pre-planning. Everything is a plan, guys. So if you know what is going to be your weaknesses, what's your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats are. And again, we're going to go back to Small Biz Pro because Gilbert had some tools within Small Biz Pro, and he's going to put the link and information in Small Biz Pro so you guys can follow it. Maybe before we end, you can pull up one of the videos and we can show them what Small Biz Pro is all about.
yes,
But
definitely.
know your liquidity options. Investigate your potential sources of capital because you're going to need to use them. Consider revolving loans, owner infusions, alternate financing, private equity, some governmental resources like SBA loans and so forth. There's still some loans out there. In fact, I think Hello Alice has some loans and grants still out there. Get involved with some of the organizations that have programs going on right now because there's actually funding going. There's actually still some funding sources out there. It's not as many as it was during the pandemic, but if you can take advantage of it, not saying loans, and also go sit down with your bank and see about before everything starts to change, see if there's any line of credits that can help you bridge you through that time frame. So very important. So check out any loans, go over to, and this is some of our sister organizations, go over and check out PCR, Pacific Coast Regional Center, check out Lendistry, Center of Lendistry. They may have some low point loans if that's what you need, especially in production for your production costs. So take a look at that. Also, establish flexible client agreements. One way to build your client loyalty is to negotiate flexibility where one hand washes the other. And then you can kind of offer rewards in return for contracted sales volume, and also customize offering in exchange for fast payment terms. A lot of us, don't want to give up anything, but in some cases, if somebody is going to pay you early and you need that cash flow, then you having a discount, adding a discount to a incentive for them paying a few dollars here may be worth thousands of dollars in your bank account, right? So you want to look at that and know that any discounts, any that you do, those are tax tax deductibles, allowable tax deductibles that you can write off at the end of the next year, and that can reduce your tax option. You are muted for whatever reason, Gilbert. Why are you muted? What happened?
See,
Oh, there you
I'm on.
go.
Can you hear me?
I can. You were unmute. You were muted.
Yeah, I'm on a different plane here. So one of the things I wanted to add to this, Crystal, is that small businesses, in order the points that you made earlier about being patient. Being
Yes.
patient, one of the things that you can do to help in that patience is to make sure you get a line of credit for your business. A line of credit can help you to go so much farther in your business. And what it does, it gives you access to leveraging cash that you wouldn't otherwise have available in the case of an emergency or last minute decision, or if you got to hire employee or purchase materials. Those are things that you need to have going. So you want to start establishing a relationship with your bank, or a credit union, or whomever you're using as your financial entity in your business. You want to develop that relationship, whether the line of credit is going to start at 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 or more. You want to have that available, so should a recession come around, you can jump in and you can start using some of that money. Okay, that's one of the things. The next thing is, I'm partnered with an organization on Wilshire called the Jewish Free Loan Association.
The Jewish
They,
Foundation.
Yes, they also offer loans to small businesses, interest-free loan, interest-free. That means you don't have to pay any interest on it. What you borrow is what you pay. You borrow 50,000, you're paying back 50,000, no interest or anything like that. So those are two types of resources I think you guys should build into your plan, your operating plan, that will help you to access funding when you need it.
Awesome. Those are good suggestions. And make sure this is a good time to go in and talk to those banks. If they can't help you in this area, they are not the bank you need to be banking your money with. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying, and I'm not going to mention the bank's name. They were saying, "My God, the bank that they don't let me even have my own money. It just
That's
sits in
right.
there as a safe, is
Yeah.
a savings account, but I can't do anything with the money that's there." So I said, "Well, I don't think that's a bank that's working it on your behalf. Take
Right.
your money, move it to a bank that is going to be able to assist you when you need it
Yes.
during a
Yeah.
crisis like the pandemic or a recession, or you need to hire, or whatever it is your needs are. Your bank should be there for you." The
Yes.
other thing is, and we talk about this over and over again, this is right in Greg's wheelhouse, is establishing a business emergency fund. So make
Yes.
sure you have money set aside. That cash cushion is the wisest investment you can make in your business, is having that cash reserve, that when something happens and money is moving slowly, it can actually provide you with all the uh, emergency funds that you need. So, and what you want to do is, when you're establishing that fund, is the key factors is your payroll, your inventory, and your utilities and your mortgage. Those are the key things that keep you in business. Make sure you know what that is, establish that budget based upon that, and then start storing away that emergency fund. It really should not be at the bank that you do all your regular banking with, your general account. It shouldn't even be a separate account at that same bank, because what
Yeah.
will happen is it will be a false emergency and you'll start transferring money. Put it in some other bank that you cannot get to.
Greg said the rainy day fund.
Very few had a pandemic emergency fund. So yeah, so do that. Next is assess your organization's risk tolerance. And so
Yep.
again, I'm going to go back to Gilbert's to Small Biz Pro, because it can help you do that. There's a tool in Small Biz Pro that helps you with that, isn't it, Gilbert?
Yep. Yes, there is. Yep.
Right. So one of the things in your risk tolerance is what is your break even points? What's your breaking point? When does your business really go into critical space? How much uncertainty can your leaders and staff handle? Making sure you understand where everything falls apart. How adaptable and this is what Gilbert talked about at the very beginning. How adaptable are your systems and your processes? Do you have a handle on those processes? How much money can you afford to lose before the company is in critical condition and needs to be in the ICU?
Resuscitated. Before you need a small business paramedic.
Right, before you need a small business product paramedic. And how much reputational risk can you withstand? So that's some of the things that you want to be able to obsess to make sure that you know what can happen and where your breaking points are, and that can help you. Another is paying down all debt.
Yep. Yep.
When a recession is coming, you want to be as debt free as possible. You don't want to have whole bunches of loans sitting on the books. So do some prepaying of some outstanding debts if they've been around for a long time, especially if they have high interest. Get rid of those before that recession comes along. Find ways to cut back. This means on your operating expenses. This means on your variable expenses, things that are waste of time. One of the things that I have found doing books for people and helping people establish their accounting structures, Gilbert, is how much we spend in electronic transactions that we may have thought was useful or was beneficial 2, 3, 4 years ago. Because it's such a small amount, we're no longer thinking about it, and it's happening every month in our accounts. We're not reconciling, so we don't know. You could be putting out $200 to $300 a month, $1,000 a month in little fees that add up. By the end of the year, you didn't put out a whole lot of money. Get rid of those. I had a client that found that out. She had some electronic online services that pertain to very specific clients, and the clients were no longer clients of hers. They were actually this software that she had acquired was specifically for that client. So once she eliminated that, she was able to recycle and repurpose that money, and that's how she created her emergency fund.
And that's a good point right there, Crystal, because I was thinking when you were talking about the emergency fund and you're talking about looking at fees.
Mm-hmm.
I have a vendor right now that charges $10 every time they send me money electronic. They send me my payment electronically, right? I think it's through wire transfer, not ACH, but wire transfer.
Right.
They jack me $10 in each transaction. So if they have 3 transactions, that's $30 right there. And that happens every month. Every month. So in essence, I'm paying for them to pay me.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
And those things add up, man, after a while. Because if you're paying $30 a month times 12 months for the year,
Hmm.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's $360 right there.
Right there that you can eliminate. And Greg has put a couple of things in the chat. NSF fees for bounce checks. So if you can stop a bounce check, stop it, because those fees get ridiculous. And I know I used to work for a company. I swear that this guy must have paid for he must have, at least in his NSF fees, he must have probably paid for 5 or 6 new branches for the bank that he banked at.
Yeah.
Because it was just, and they allowed him to keep doing it because he
Yeah.
didn't look like us.
Because they're making money off him. And the NSF non sufficient funds, okay, it doesn't go one way, it goes both ways, because your bank is gonna jack you $35, and then the bank that you sent it to, they're gonna jack you 35 too, and then they may charge you $10 just for not paying on time, and then charge you $10 a stupid tax.
Right. By the time you got done, you just spent like 80, $100
Exactly.
as Greg says, on a $10 check. No. So try to move money out from a savings account, put it in there. Best make sure if you're counting and keeping track of your balances on a daily basis. That's why having a QuickBooks account, or a Wave account where your bank transfers are syncing in with your accounting system, and you can look at it in real time every morning. It gives you enough time. But also, I'm going to tell you, if you have a good bank, they will call you, and you have a good relationship with your
Yeah.
bank.
Yeah.
They will call you and
Yeah.
let you know something's about to happen.
Yeah.
How soon can you get in the bank? That's what my
Yeah.
bank does for me.
Yeah.
If something's about to happen, or maybe you deposited a check and a check bounced, their check bounced, they'll let you know that check didn't clear. Can you come in and cover it so that you won't get any fees? So
Yeah.
that's an amazing thing. And I think
Yeah.
I just heard my bank just eliminated a service fee. So look, also that's something that you can do, is find a bank that doesn't charge you service fees. That's a good thing too. Create a action plan before the business slows down. It's good to create a scenario planning, a what if planning, so you know what could potentially happen, and then you can minimize the errors that you may make under stress or for bad decisions during the moment. So soliciting employees who've been with you for a long time. This is a good time for all of you to work together to make sure that the business can survive. Can survive the recession. The next one is reduce your overhead expenses. Again, running your financial reports, really scouring through them, really making some major decisions, going back and renegotiating contracts, cutting and trimming down excess fat in your business. This is good. Um, a lot of us have entertainment fees and stuff like that where we're, buying coffee and stuff. Yeah.
See, that was one of my pluses for the over the pandemic, because I didn't have to go buy coffee or lunch with anyone, any client or anyone during that time. I just stayed home. We did business on the phone. I saved me a lot of money. I was looking at my budget, Crystal. I'm going, man, I'm
Oh,
saving
yeah.
so much money.
And it's interesting because one of the suggestions here is move to remote workforce force. And now everybody's fighting to get their workforce back, but
Yeah,
it does cost you more money to maintain your office, your
yeah,
people in your office. You really don't realize that. And I understand some of them are contracted in with their leasing, with the lease on their buildings, but the gas company actually has eliminated their offices, and they're all permanently working remotely from home.
that's
If they
beautiful.
do need to have them come in, I think the Edison is doing this as well. If they do need to have them come in, they've rented less expensive or really reduced rate um, um, on office space where they can have meetings for, if they need to have meetings, but or those Ephesian suites or those rent as you need executive suites, that's much cheaper than maintain a whole office. And you don't need to have a whole office depending on what the business is. Some businesses can be run without having to be in an office. So if that's you, then stop fighting the remote work and make it work for you, because we talked about that last week, it could cost you far less. Downsize your inventory. The more inventory you have sitting on your shelf, all you're doing is letting money sit on the shelf. And if during the recession your inventory is turning over really slow, then you might want to look at what's obsolete. You might want to look at some discount, some big sales to move the product out. But don't just let it sit there, because anything sitting there is lost revenue, and you're not making any money off of it. So why do that? So really want to research that.
One thing that popped into my mind right now, Crystal, when you're speaking about employees working from home as opposed to going into the office, and I would like Greg to chime in on this. Greg Sneed, if you can chime in on this also, that would be great. But now that employers have a lot of their employees working from home, how does workers' comp play into this? Because usually when you have your employees working from the office, and if someone should slip and fall or an accident happen, the workers' comp kicks in and takes care of stuff. But if they're working from home and something should happen to them, is workers' comp going to take care of that? I mean, how does it work? So, Crystal or Greg, you tell me.
Um, Generally, workers' comp relates to what's happening in the actual office or the premises of the building that you're in. I don't know if it covers your employees at their home. That might be something new. Greg, maybe you might have some input on that. But I think um, on equipment and things like that, if it belongs to the office, I think there's something there. But generally, workers' comp, when you do your audit each year, they want to know who's actually on the premises. So let's say, for example, a church, right? Churches have the pastor, couple of assistant pastors. They have their music team, but their music team is usually contractual people, and so we do include those contractual people, like a pianist, the drummer, and singer, and things like that. Anybody that you're paying, but is only covering them when they're on the premise of the church. So I don't know. I don't know if I have to look into that and see what that looks like, because there
So
are some things.
yeah, I was just wondering because since a lot of employees are not working from the office anymore, then they may have been covered in the office, but are they covered at home? you
Yeah,
know?
they're usually not covered at home, because I mean, I can't see they're being covered at home because so many other things are happening at home. But
Yeah.
your own insurance, your own liability insurance, your own renter's insurance, and things like that can cover for theft and things like that. But I don't think so. But I'll check into that. Um, hey, Catherine, how are you? Greg says LA DWP closed their office to cut down on electricity bills. That's funny. Well, Greg just put up, yes, remote and telecommuting workers typically are covered under workers' comp policy if the injury or illness occurs while the employee is completing a work task during work hours. In most cases, the remote worker has the burden of proof, meaning they must be able to demonstrate that they were acting in the interest of their employer at the time they got sick or injured. However, the courts have found that even though the employer does not have control over the employee's work environment, that lack is not the reason to deny claims. So there's the answer.
Okay, beautiful.
Long as they are working under work hours, and in capacity of doing work for their employer. Thank you, Greg. We so appreciate you.
Thank you,
Um,
Greg.
Consider financing before emergencies happen. It's a good idea to do pre-work on financing before you need it. For example, appraising assets that might be used as collateral, discussing trade credit options with vendors, improving your business credit rating, or not a renegotiating extended payment terms or existing loans. Do your homework on asset-based financing like account receivable financing, factoring, and purchase order financing, especially if you've never used them before. You have a client, you have a friend that is in that space, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Greg also recommends credit unions versus some of the large commercial banks. And
That is
with all
true.
the changes, I prefer smaller banks because the big banks are all merging into one bank, and so that does not give you a lot of flexibility. Greg also says, far as the workers' comp, that allows them to file now that the workers' comp insurance company is going to be more vigorous in fighting the claim. So you definitely want to be able to look in that. Now we're coming down close to our end. And so cultivation. So this is my favorite. Everybody knows this is my favorite. Creating multiple revenue streams
That's
and
right.
making sure those revenue streams are
Our, our
Greg is so
recession proof.
are recession proof. So finding some revenue streams that's gonna make money, which is usually digital revenue streams, because if it's happening on the internet, folks ain't leaving the internet. They're gonna be paying their internet hosting bills. So make sure whatever your revenue streams are can come in digitally. Greg
And,
says,
and Crystal, how many streams of revenues they should be thinking of?
well, typically it's supposed to be 7 or 8. Uh, some say 12. My friend Dr. Rosie says she have a revenue stream for every financial obligation that she has. There's
All
a
right.
revenue stream to offset it.
That's what I'm talking about.
um, the next one is modify your offering. So identify ways to modify an offering to make it more attractive to the customer so that they will be more motivated to shop and buy from you and to spend money with you. So, and if you make sure that it is meeting a unmet need or solving a problem, they still are going to buy from you because they have to have whatever it is you're selling. So modify your offerings, maybe on how it's delivered, how it's priced, in order to cater to that customer's needs, especially your returning customers. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're catering to their needs. Also, maybe you might have to look at some new products assortment, something that offering services virtually or pivoting from formal dress wear to casual loungewear. So one of the things that happened during the pandemic, none of us was dressing up, right? Everybody was wearing pajama bottoms and tops. So the top the top resells during the pandemic was pajamas and tops that you could be seen only on your Zoom calls because you're only going to be seen from the top up. So cater to the needs, guys. Cater to the needs.
Cater to the needs.
Invest time in client relationships. You want to stay close to your clients during a downturn in the economic climates. You don't want them to think that you're out of business because you haven't communicated with them. Make sure this is an important time to keep your communications up. Spend money on that marketer so that they can make sure that they're using and taking advantage of all your social media so people know that you are still alive and kicking. I was looking for a vendor the other day and I'm thinking of the name, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be perfect because my girlfriend was looking for a facility, a venue for her mom's repast. And this place was beautiful in 2019. They went under during the pandemic. And so when you go to Yelp, you see a lot of under Yelp, your Google a search for a company and it'll go closed, permanently closed, or temporary closed. So make sure people know that you're in existence. So spend some time keeping in touch with your clients. Strategize as if you plan to sell your business. I like this one, Gilbert, because
Yeah,
most people are not thinking about an exit strategy. So you
exactly.
want to make sure you set up the business to survive on its own, similar to they say here in this article, similar to the role of parents launching capable children. Make sure your business is capable to run without you. So strategize if you plan to sell, and then niche down again. If we only wearing pajamas, niche it on down to selling pajamas because that's what people need and want. And I do remember going to a number of stores during the pandemic and I could not find pajama wear. And or
Really?
yeah, it was they were
See, that
out.
was a good time to invest in that in the stock market, huh?
Right, exactly. Penny's, Macy's, Walmart, any of the stores did not have pajamas, and I needed new pajamas. Uh,
You see how simple that is, but just so critical to the market.
mhm.
Amazing.
Invest in strategic partnerships. So important.
Yeah,
Have partners, collaborate. Don't be afraid to work with people. It can
yeah.
enhance your business. We already kind of talked about that. Considering, consider pivoting to a different to a business that is more recession proof. That's what I did in the .com era. No, it wasn't .com. It was actually in the 2000 SNL. That's when I went and found me some new skills, and those new skills were in an industry that was not going to go. That always goes untouched during a recession or any kind of downturn. Next is investing. So remember to ask Crystal to stand up while on Zoom.
To
Funny
see what kind of
Greg.
to see what kind of pajamas she's wearing.
Yeah, funny Greg. I'm on shorts today. Investing, diversify your investments. Uh, Actually, during an economic downturn, this is the best time in the world to get into the stock market because you want to get into the stock market when the prices are so low. And so, look at diversifying some of your investments. Start moving some money around. Buy some stock that's dirt cheap and buy a lot of it. So come time for it to go back up, you may recoup some of the money that you're going to lose. Invest in adaptable technology. Gilbert talked about this early. Do not skip nurturing campaigns. Make sure this is what Gilbert was talking about when we first started this conversation. Make sure you people know who you are. Greg says like a stock market rig. Yep, like a stock market rig cap sale right now.
Crystal. Before you mentioned that about the pajamas getting scarce, never thought about it before. But now, when the next recession comes around, believe me, I'll be thinking about investing.
Well, Gilbert, you gave me a great idea the other day. I hadn't even thought about it. People complain about the gas, but if you already got some money in the stock
Yeah,
market,
yeah,
Gilbert calls me. He goes, "Wait a minute, what about investing in stock?" I'm like, in oil and gas. Like, you got a point there, my friend.
yeah,
So
yeah. Because the price keep going up and up.
right. So if the price is going up and the stock may be low, so I found a couple of them and I took some of my money and reinvested over into the oil. Might as well benefit from it.
That's right. That's right.
So and that's not a tip, guys. That's just common sense. That's all that was. So no SEC record or people coming after me. I am not a licensed
We're not giving tips here.
right. We're not giving tips, and I am not a licensed stock analyst. All I'm saying is makes good sense to me.
That's right. So you
um,
got some recession-proof industries here, huh?
Yeah, so take a look, guys. So if you need to pivot or you're in these industries, this is a good time to really do some research on how you can create more revenue streams or maybe it's time to think about adding some services to your existing business. So,
Greg, we got your industry here, Greg. Financial services. That's you.
Greg said I did not name a specific stock, so I'm good. Thanks, Greg. Just want to make sure nobody coming after me. I'm just saying makes sense.
Yeah. And we didn't either. We said oil, and oil could mean a lot of different things. It could be
a lot of different things.
coconut oil, cod liver oil, castor
Right.
oil. It could be any of those oils.
Right, exactly. Go do your own research. That's what I say. So here's some recession-proof industries. The healthcare space. People are going to go to the doctors, as you guys can see during the pandemic. If nothing else, you had to go to the doctor. So you want to go there. You want to make sure if you have some services that could cross over, health, wellness, mental health, all of those things are things that are going on in our world right now. And so you actually could look at that. Greg says, throw out some ticker symbols and you are in trouble. I'm not doing that. Financial services, Greg's industry, and I think Greg said that somewhere up there. After being in the boating industry, Greg actually moved into the financial services, as did I. So it was lucrative. Home repair, because no matter what, if the plumbing go out, something you got to call a plumber.
Yep.
Or a roofer, or a carpenter or something. Automotive, cars got to work, so cars are always on the road.
Electrical,
food and beverage, we got to eat. We did a whole lot of eating.
Food got to be the number one right there.
During the pandemic, anybody in the fast food industry, they made a grip of money. Supermarkets made a grip of money. So good business. Comfort items and vices, because when you're in a recession, you get depressed. You're going to go to your vices. So you might be eating more, smoking more, which is actually at $10 a pack, which is insane. You might be eating more donuts and cookies and potato chips. You shouldn't be, but you will.
And remember that pandemic weight. That pandemic weight.
40 pounds everybody's freakishly working on trying to get rid of. Household staples. Funeral businesses are dying businesses. You are funny, Greg. Quality brands, they're never going to go out of business. Education, oh my God, right now that is huge. So many schools in Los Angeles and around the country are closing down since the pandemic. Baby products, look at that. Baby formula, you can't even find it. So again, if anybody is looking for a business to go into, or you have a manufacturing business and you have the equipment to produce, I would go look into creating some competition for the baby formula industry, because there should not be just two suppliers out there that if something happened, and in their case, they found they had to shut everything down to clean out everything because there was 2 babies died from salmonella, then that should never happen. Budget traveling, even though the travel industry has all moved digitally, find out how you can get in that industry, because people, you just get so tired, you just want to jump on a plane and you want to travel. And then, of course, utilities, they will never go out of business. So even though we're not telling you to leave your business, we're just telling you that these are in demand businesses. They're recession-proof businesses. So look at seeing how you can do that. And if you have a business that milk, things like that, trays are a great place to be. So all of this. So this is how we look at a recession before the recession's coming. I would say everyone, I know there's few of us that are geeky enough to to read Wall Street journals and all of the money magazines and stay on top of the news, the CNNs and things like that. Make sure you're staying on top so you can be ready before the recession gets here, because it's coming. Um, and not be caught off guard like you were for the pandemic. So just that's what we're saying, guys. Just be prepared. And as we said on the very beginning, the very first slide, I'm going to go back to the first slide now. You don't have to change your vision, but you certainly have to change your tactics.
That's right. Don't have to change the vision. Change the tactic.
Yeah, change the tactics of how you do business, so and not the vision of your business, not the purpose of why you do business, but we've all invested too much time, energy, and money in our businesses to let it not to take the time to prepare it for something that's about to happen. And thank you, Catherine.
Thank you,
Uh,
Catherine.
and just know, as we said at the top of this conversation, uh, economic downturns are part of the business cycle.
That's right.
And every 6 years, 6 to 7 years, there is a recession. And so, and that's different than a depression. But so there is some sort of recession. So you just need to be always prepared. And as Gilbert said, if you got your business plan intact, you do your SWOT analysis every year, at the end of the year or every 6 months, then you will be better. You will be prepared for it.
Look at it this way. You have a suit that you purchase in the business to run the business, and every 6 to 7 years, you're going to have to make some adjustment in that suit. Either you adjust up or you adjust down. But you adjust that suit somehow. Well, that's how the recession-proof business works. You got to adjust to accommodate the recession, and or you adjust to accommodate growth. So one of those two you're going to do.
Exactly. Greg says same destination, different road to take.
That's right. That's right. He said, worst case scenario, get 40% loan from Gilbert.
There you go. But I think that would be one of those decisions you made that's a poor decision. 40% is a whole lot of money to pay for a loan. But that's what
Crystal, I'm looking at this graphic you've got up here with a plate of food. Looks like a Jamaican food. And we can use this as, you don't have to change your tactic. It says change your tactic, right? Yeah. Not the vision. So right. The food, if it's Jamaican food, you don't have to change the Jamaican food. Just change the spices you put in it. So that's what it is. Change the tactic, not the vision.
Now you have me wanting Jamaican food. So when I get off the show today, I am going to get some Jamaican food.
You're not changing the vision. You're changing the tactic, Crystal.
Right. And Look Kingston is back open. I don't know what was going on with Look Kingston, so I'm getting ready to head over to Look Kingston and get me a little Jamaican food.
Hey, Greg, happy National Caribbean American Heritage Month, Greg. Happy one.
So, in honor of Caribbean National Heritage Month, I'm going to get some Jamaican food.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, this was an interesting and very informative show today, Crystal. I really like it. I think we cover this recession-proof business better than anyone I know. I mean, I hear people talk about it, but the way we laid it out and having Greg adding his expert input was really good.
Yeah, as a financial planner and in risk management, that's the business he's in.
And
risk management.
And the seller of a boat.
Yeah, right.
Because he didn't need it anymore.
So, guys, that is our show today. I hope you found it beneficial. Go back. This will be it was broadcast live, so you can go on YouTube. I'll put some of the recession strategies in the description box, so you can go. And we highly suggest this. We highly suggest to you to take the time out right now. Bye bye, Greg. Thank you. Greg's probably running off to get him some Jamaican food now too. I set the mode, put the thought in his head. But we want you to be prepared. So don't be caught unaware like we were in 2020. It's taking us a while to get back to where we were before. And you want to make sure your business is set up for success. And even though we know that it's commonplace for a recession to take place, we want to be able to ride out the recession. He made some jerk chicken last Sunday. We want to make sure we're ready for it. All righty, Gilbert, that's what we have today. Anything coming up next week that you want to talk about?
This week, I think at the Urban League, we've got the class in marketing that's coming up. We're going to have Miss Chacha talking about marketing. So I really want you guys to check it out, see what it's all about. And there are folks who will be reaching out to me for their certification because they want to be recession proof. So they want to make sure that they access all these contracting dollars that's out there before it gets dried up. So guys, you want to make sure you stay on top of your game, get all your paperwork in order. And all the classes that we're offering you between Crystal and I, just take advantage of them because you never know when these classes are going to stop. So you want to check it out. Check it out.
Exactly. And for our show next week, we actually have someone coming on that is going to talk about business credit or establishing credit and business credit. So you guys want to, his name is Jesse. Let me get his name for you guys. So definitely tune back in. Jesse Ramirez, he has a company called Chill Global Biz Credit. So he's going to be coming in talking about establishing your business credit. So you guys want to come back next week because, again, that's part of that recessional stuff we were talking about, right? Is if you need it, make sure you have it before you need it so that you won't have to be scrambling during that time. So tune back in next Friday. 3 o'clock, same bat channel. Catherine says she's looking forward to the same bat channel, same time. And go over to our YouTube channel right now and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that way you will get a notification that
when
we are about to come on.
That's right.
Right. So follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. But most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be. I mean, the more knowledge you have, the more successful you will be.
And I just put a link in the chat right now. We talked about getting your business ready. I just put a link in there on a promo video on Small Biz Pro to help you to get your paperwork in order. So click on the link. It will take you to Small Biz Pro, and you guys can check it out. Check it out, guys. You're gonna love
it. We can play it real quick for them. That'll be our little commercial.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Need the link. Can you go ahead and do the share?
Okay, yes. Let's do the share right there, and do the window. Is that it?
Yeah. Make sure you share the sound.
Okay. Let's see here. Where is the sound?
There we go.
Okay.
Now click it and widen it.
There you go, guys.
You can't find your paperwork. Where's your business license? Where's your capability?
Can you guys
see
this?
You can't find your paperwork. Where's your business license? Where's your capability statement? Do you have your balance sheet? And where are your certifications? Are you even business ready? Hello, this is Larry.
What's up?
Larry's a general contractor. Small business owners like him misplace or lose their paperwork daily, or perhaps they just never had it in the first place, which ends up costing all small businesses in excess of $500 million each year. 90% of bid applications or proposals submitted by small businesses get declined each year by contract providers. Meanwhile, 8 out of 10 small business borrowers are declined weekly by lenders, partly because many of these applicants don't have the required paperwork in place. Their financial ratios fall below the required threshold, or they are deemed non-compliant and not bankable. That is why Small Biz Pro, the #1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance platform, was created to help small business owners, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits set up and manage their back office efficiently. This dynamic tool helps small businesses become more prepared and organized much better than their competitors. Now they can start winning business deals, contracts, and grants, which before was out of reach. With Small Biz Pro, your paperwork is only 2 seconds away at your fingertips, accessible by using your smartphone, tablet, or a laptop to retrieve them while on the go. Small Biz Pro automatically prepares and organizes your small business or nonprofit so that your firm will become business ready, bank loan ready, certification ready, grant ready, and contract ready. Small Biz Pro, remember, if you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. What are you waiting for?
Now that's what I'm talking about.
So there you guys go. Make sure you go in and sign up. We'll make sure the link is in the description box on our YouTube channel, and reach out to Gilbert and he can help you get it all set up. So with that, Gilbert, I guess we're ready to sign off for this week, huh?
I guess we are. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week Friday from 3 to 4:30 here on the Business Zone. And Crystal, you said we're going to have a great guest next week.
Yes, Jesse Ramirez is going to come in and talk about small business credit and how to establish it. So you want to be here next week.
All righty, guys. We look forward to seeing you. And on behalf of the Business Zone and behalf of my super co-host, Crystal Mitchell, Coach Crystal Mitchell, I want to say we're out.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, that's how we roll. Using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.